Vie for the opportunity to serve our 27th Senate District in the California State Senate in Sacramento. That seat has been held by some outstanding senators, Sheila Kuehl and followed by Fran Pavley, and they've made some landmark bills, legislation that has changed not just California, but they're changing around the state, and probably, and no doubt had some impact on what happened in Paris last month. So we're going to introduce each of the candidates. We'll have 3 minutes to tell you who they are and why they want to be your senator. So we will start with Sean Bayless.
Don't know if I should stand, but here I am. Sean Bayless, running to replace Fran Pavley for Senate District 27. I currently work for former Assembly member and current Council member Paul Koretz. I'm his planning, environmental land use, and economic development guy. So it's been my duty to make sure. Is this better? Oh, there we go. Sorry. It's been my duty to make sure that we're bringing good, high-paying jobs into our district. And that all those items, economic development-wise, land use-wise, development-wise, run smoothly, and that we get the smart growth that we need. Like a lot of folks in this room probably, California is my adopted home. I'm from a small town in southern Ohio, about 4,000 people, so everyone knew each other. So this is a bit of a change, but came out here, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. Proud to say that I'm married. And if I should daze or doze off at some point, please don't hold that against me. I just had my first child 3 days ago, so I'll take all the credit for that. But having gone through that process up close and personal, I just want to say I had a tremendous amount of respect for women to begin with, but thank God you're the ones that handle labor, because if it was up to men, I think we would have gone extinct as a species a long time ago. What a beautiful and terribly frightening experience to go through. So anyway, so sleep has not been my best friend recently. So I'm also very fortunate to have a lot of family out here. My family's been out in this area for about 45 years. Actually, my in-laws live in Westlake Village, so I'm actually in this restaurant and get the luxury of seeing this lake, or as someone earlier referred to it as a pond, often. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. I'm sure I can ramble on and on, but anyway, Sean Bayless.
Should I be standing? Those folks in the corner, there's some pillars. Want to get up? All right. How's this? My name's Henry Stern. Good morning. So I'm Senator Pavley's senior policy advisor, and I grew up in this area. This is my home. Grew up playing baseball and water polo over it, beating up on Thousand Oaks. Knew Fran Pavley since I was, barely bar mitzvah age. And now I feel like this obligation to step up. There's going to be a gap in leadership in this district. CJ mentioned it earlier. Senator Pavley's terming out. It's 14 years of service. It's a lot of time, energy, sweat, and you all share equity in that effort. This club, this council, I should say, and the Conejo Valley Dem Club, what you all have built here is not to be underestimated, and it's something that can sustain now beyond what Mary Kay has built, right? Now you have people like CJ stepping up, or like the Gunthers, or Sally Hibbets, there's so many dynamos in this room, and not to be biased to the guys here, but the women dominate Conejo Valley. You all are the power valley, period. Now, I come from an incredible lineage of feminine power leadership myself. Fran Pavley has a legacy here that I intend to fiercely defend. This is our land. These are our homes, these are our communities, and I'm going to put everything I've got into defending that. But I can tell you a lot of words, but what I believe you all should be judging this election upon is deeds. We can have a lot of intentions about what we want, and all our values are important. But if you can't translate those values and those intentions into policy, then you're not doing your job as a senator. And I like to think that I have a track record of working for the senator up in the Capitol, and really delivering on all our fears and abating them, all our desires and fulfilling them. You know, when we were worried about teachers, that's just red. I don't know, 1 minute. If we're worried about teachers, you know, and whether they're being defended in the classroom or whether they have the tools to do their job, we don't just talk about it. I've been working on SB 62 to deal with financial aid for them and make sure teachers come out of school debt-free. Right? If you're worried about climate change and sustainability and air pollution, we're not just going to talk about it. We're moving the most far-reaching climate policy in the entire world. Right? So my job here is to deliver for you all. And I'm going to put every ounce of sweat I've got into it, and we're going to need your help. So I'm honored to be up here among some incredible candidates. I think it's a very healthy thing to have this debate and have such a wealth of talent in this community. And I hope you'll consider me to be your next state senator. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Richard Matthews. I've spoken here with you before. I'm a member here. And my background is engineering and science. I started in astrophysics at Caltech, and I went on into a career in computer engineering, designing computer components and software. And I want to take that science and engineering experience to Sacramento so that we base policy on good, sound science. That's why I am endorsed by the famous climate scientist Michael Mann. I have been an activist for a very, very long time. Probably my first activism was marching for Cesar Chavez, boycotting grapes back in the 60s. Thanks. And my mother over in the back of the room ran for Congress here in the 70s, and that's where I learned to be such a fierce activist. I am now fiercely fighting this gas leak going on in our district up in the San Fernando Valley. We have thousands of people getting sick there, and it is a terrible, terrible problem. I have a petition. We've got 1,000 signatures to have this declared a national disaster area, but the governor has still not gone and sent a letter to the president asking for this to be a national disaster area. I have published a plan to get this fixed, not only to fix the leak, but how we move on to transition from natural gas to solar power so that we don't have more leaks like this. We need to shut this facility down. I've been regional vice chair of the Los Angeles County Democratic Party, member of the executive board of the state party, and I have led many, many efforts. I got the resolution passed in the state party that calls for increasing the minimum wage and tying it to inflation, and after I got that resolution, we got a 25% increase in the minimum wage. Wasn't enough. We still need to tie it to inflation. We're still fighting to get more there. We're going to get that done. I made it the top legislative priority for the state party to restore Glass-Steagall banking protections that we need to prevent having another economic crisis like this one that we've had. I've made it a top legislative priority to overturn Citizens United. And now we're fighting. We're going to get that on the ballot this November and make it that we can have our say in getting Citizens United overturned and protect the vote. I'm Richard Matthews for State Senate. I appreciate your support very much. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Janice Kaminer-Resnick, and I'm very pleased to be here today. I want to tell you a little bit about my background since I just got into the race this past week. So I'm excited to be able to be here this morning to meet my fellow candidates and to be able to hear what they have to say as well. I started my career as a very young woman with a master's degree in social work, and for a number of years I worked for the Jewish Federation Council in the 1970s on the Soviet Jewry activist movement. It was a very exciting time to be working in that movement when millions of Soviet Jews were in Russia trying to get out of the Soviet Union to be able to practice their faith and their freedom. In the late 70s, I actually went to law school at UCLA, graduated in 1982, and went into my own practice with my husband, where I learned how to practice real estate law, real estate litigation, and environmental litigation and compliance and regulatory work, representing mostly small businesses, gas station owners, and dry cleaners with the morass of new laws that they did not understand and know how to deal with, and I was able to help them clean up their properties and be able to figure out how to be able to continue their businesses despite unforeseen, from their perspective, legislation. During those years, I had 3 young children who are now in my youngest one turned 29 yesterday. They all live in Los Angeles. I've lived in Los Angeles my entire life since I was 8 months old, and in the district for the last 30-some years in Encino. During my years as a lawyer, I was very involved in issues relating to access to justice and getting more women appointed to the courts in the state of California. I was president of the California Women Lawyers and a founder with Sheila Kuehl of the California Women's Law Center, which is an organization dedicated to advocating for civil rights for women and girls. I did that for many years and worked on issues of domestic violence and other really critical issues in the women's movement. For the last 12 years, Rabbi Schulweis, my beloved rabbi who died a year ago, 2004 was a great year because for you started this organization, and for me, I was called upon to start an anti-genocide organization called Jewish World Watch, where for the last 11 and a half years, I have been involved in advocating against the genocide in Darfur and the rape of the women of Congo. I think I have a very long history of being able to make things happen. I do not sit idly by for any cause. I can show you results of everything that I've done. I would very much like to represent this district on the whole panoply of issues that confront our citizens, and I would be delighted to be able to meet with you and talk to you about the issues that are near and dear to your hearts. I have Sheila Kuehl's endorsement, Zev Yaroslavsky's endorsement, and several other endorsements which I think reflect upon their confidence that I can actually make things happen and get the job done. So thank you all for inviting me this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm David Pollack. I was a little hesitant to come sit up here. This kind of felt like the Last Supper up here.
Last breakfast.
Yes. And for those of you wondering, I am standing. I'm David Pollack. I'm the mayor pro tem for the city of Moore Park. And I was just having a conversation at the table. Some people don't even realize that Moore Park is its own city. But we have 35,000 people and growing, and we kind of anchor the northwest corner of this district, and then it goes all the way to Encino and down to Malibu and up to Santa Clarita. So it's a huge district and a great responsibility, and one that I take very seriously. I have raised my family out here in Ventura County. That's the reason I moved here in the first place. I have a grown son and grown daughter. I'm here with my wife, Diana, in the back. Diane is probably more famous than I am.